Joe Biden is okay. However, you did just watch him take a tumble during the Air Force Academy's graduation ceremony. Now, what's interesting about this story, look, I'm not really interested in making fun of him. It's awful when you see elderly people fall like that. It could be incredibly damaging to their bodies. But what is interesting about this is the backstory and the fears that top Democrats allegedly have in regard to Biden literally tripping and falling as he's campaigning. So before we get to that, I do wanna just say that this isn't an isolated incident. Biden has had many moments on the stage that have not been good, and his age has a lot to do with it, but it doesn't matter. He's being forced upon Democratic voters by the Democratic establishment because they think that he would be the best candidate to beat Donald Trump. Nonetheless, here's what I'm talking about when it comes to Biden on the stage. You guys get the point. Okay. Now, a spokesperson, the White House communications director, Ben LeBolt, says this: he's fine. There was a sandbag on stage while he was shaking hands. But Alex Thompson, who's the national political correspondent over at Axios, said on Twitter that some top Democrats have privately been saying for months that they're nervous about Biden tripping again on the trail. So I turn to you, Cenk. What do you think about all this?
Okay, so is that what we're supposed to say? No. Okay, I feel terrible for him. By the way, I also feel terrible for Dianne Feinstein. So why are we ruled by people who are 200 years old? That's actually the main issue. And substance over gaffes like this or falls and prats, etc. But I know media, so they're gonna be obsessed with this. In fact, I'm gonna tell you the way they're gonna cover it in some ways, and you'll see as usual that we are right ahead of time. So, but I don't rejoice when I see that. I think like there's something wrong in our system.
Yes.
That only the people who are super old can rule us. And there's a reason why. I've explained it before. For those of you who are new, let me explain it real quick. Because those are safe investments for corporate donors.
That's exactly right.
They get return on investment. They like safe investments. You get a new person and they're like, well, I don't know. I don't know if he'll take the bribe. I don't know if he'll do what he wants. Biden has a storied career, 50 years of taking donor money and delivering exactly what the donors want. Pelosi, same thing. Mitch McConnell, same thing. Kevin McCarthy, same thing, okay? So, and Schumer, all like McCarthy's the youngest by far. The rest of them are absolutely ancient because of one simple concept: return on investment. So media looks at this and goes, this is a giant problem for Biden. He just gave away the store in the debt ceiling deal. They're like, that's a big win for Biden.
Because they love that. You think that the big names in corporate media are concerned about austerity measures that impact ordinary Americans?
No, they love it. They celebrate.
They don't care about those issues at all. They're completely disconnected from everyone else. All of the issues that we're dealing with, people in corporate media are not concerned. We're talking about people who, they're working on platforms or in platforms that are owned by major media conglomerates and corporations, and they have very nice salaries. They don't have to worry about SNAP benefits.
So earlier today, we showed you the Lawrence O'Donnell segment on MSNBC, but it was really literally every show on MSNBC that took the debt ceiling deal where Democrats lost on literally every single issue. Just got absolutely routed, and he declared a victory, a huge, amazing victory. When they see this clip, they'll probably think Biden wins again. Well, yeah, man, he had to negotiate with the floor. There was nothing he could do, so he had to give some ground. He had to. And then they all sing, there was nothing he could do. There was nothing he could do. So here's my prediction. And you're already seeing it all over media, and you'll see more and more of it. So when you see this, you go, well, he needs a challenger. Everybody goes, well, even the most normie, most establishment Democrats are like, kinda, I see it, right? I can see it with my own eyes. I see pretty little lies about how we got a great deal on the debt ceiling deal. But this one I can see with my eyes. He tripped and he's old and I got an issue with it. So then you say, all right, let's run a progressive against him. Well, there's already one, Marianne Williamson's running. Oh, no way. Why is she challenging Biden? Or let's get a new progressive, I don't know, Nina Turner or something, right? They're like, how dare you, what a betrayal. At the same exact time, you will see columns saying, Gavin Newsom needs to come in. We need a savior. We need a savior.
I will actively work against Gavin Newsom.
It doesn't matter, they love him.
He has destroyed the state of California. He is a nightmare.
And he's a
nightmare.
He's a slick, rich dude that nobody's gonna relate to, but the establishment loves him. So sometimes you'll see it on the same day.
I would vote for a bag of potatoes before I would vote for Gavin Newsom.
The country, unfortunately or fortunately, shares your sentiment. But so they will say, if a progressive comes in, that's a betrayal of Democratic Party, as if the Democratic voters are being betrayed, right? Marianne Williams, why is she even in the race? She's so you see how she treats her staff, and she believes in spiritual stuff. That's what you get for being a challenger to Biden. Gavin, please come on, challenge Biden. You got to challenge Biden. You see him trip? Gavin, Buttigieg, give us a corporate Democrat. That's what this is about. So yeah, he's in bad shape. He's older. I don't blame him for tripping. There was a sandbag. So what? It could have been Bernie, and we love Bernie, right? So don't get on him for that, okay? But get on him for the substance. And yes, we need a challenger, not because he tripped, but not because he's falling down on stage, but because his poll numbers are falling down. He's at 35%. Even if you don't agree with us on policy and you love it when Republicans win on negotiations, okay? And you somehow call yourself a Democrat, that's fine. But he's not going to win, and we all agree to that. There's no one at 35% that's an incumbent that has ever won.
So now that you mention that, I think it's important to see how Trump handled the news of Biden's latest fall. Because remember, when Trump sees someone as a political threat, he's pretty vicious. He sees Ron DeSantis as a political threat, and he has been relentlessly cruel to DeSantis, and it's been fun to watch. But weirdly enough, his reaction to this situation, a little different from what I would have expected. So let's go to that video. Here's what he had to say.
He's at the Air Force Academy. He actually fell down. Well, I hope he wasn't hurt. But the whole thing is crazy. You got to be careful about that. Because you don't want that. Even if you have to tiptoe down a ramp, you got to tiptoe.
It's just like laughable way he talks. Like it's just, anyway, but look, some might say that Donald Trump himself has had quite a few trips and falls while he's been campaigning and while he was president. Maybe he has this moment of self-awareness. Trump never has any moments of self-awareness, okay? I just think the way he reacted to that made it clear to me that he ain't worried about Biden.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, if you notice, I mean, he barely attacks Biden. Oh, he attacks DeSantis 24/7 because he's worried about DeSantis.
Exactly.
Okay, he's Biden at 35%. He's like, that guy only beat me by 43,000 votes last time in the Electoral College. Now he's 15 points less popular. That's a cakewalk, right? And to be fair, no, Trump, it's not that Trump tripped before or fell, but yeah, that joke that he made is about him tiptoeing down at West Point, a different graduation, right, also military graduation, down this ramp. And so he knows that in this case, his house is also made of glass. So it's a rare decision not to throw stones.
I know, Cenk, but literally today, one of the other things that he said was that, I don't really like the word woke. I don't like the word woke. People don't, if you ask people to define it, they can't even define it. They don't even know what it means. I mean, this is a guy who is going around complaining about woke and wokeness like incessantly.
And
right?
see, that goes to Anna's point. Look, the primary comes before the general election for sure. I get it, right? He's got to worry about the first obstacle, right? But at the same time, like if he was worried about Biden, he'd be like, woke is terrible. I hate woke and everybody's woke and I despise it, right? But he doesn't think Biden's the threat. He thinks DeSantis is the threat.
Exactly.
And so when DeSantis is using the word woke over and over, all of a sudden Trump's like, what's wrong with woke? That's just a giant ad saying, I'm worried about DeSantis. I don't care about Biden. I'm gonna beat him with a stick. It's gonna be super easy and laughable. And what's sick and disgusting is that it's probably true. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.